In the heart of the Glimmering Gorges lived a young dragon named Fizzo. Fizzo lived with his father, Blaze, who was the most magnificent fire breather in the land. Every evening, Blaze would let out a mighty roar and send a spiral of golden flames into the sky to light the village lanterns. Fizzo watched with wide eyes, wishing he could roar just like that. Fizzo spent his afternoons practicing. He would stand on his tiptoes, take a deep breath until his belly was round, and try to feel the heat. He squeezed his eyes shut and pushed with all his might. But instead of a flicker of flame or a puff of smoke, nothing happened. He just ended up feeling very dizzy and a little bit silly. One morning, Fizzo was trying to move a stubborn, jagged rock that was blocking his favorite path. He pushed and he heaved, but the rock wouldn't budge. Fizzo felt a hot grumble-rumble rising in his chest. He was getting very angry. He opened his mouth to let out a fiery blast at the rock, but instead, pop, whish! A cloud of shimmering, iridescent bubbles floated out. Fizzo slumped down, his tail drooping in the dust. He felt like a failure. Blaze flew down from the high peaks and sat beside him. "What's wrong, little spark?" Blaze asked softly. Fizzo gestured to the bubbles clinging to the jagged rock. "I'm not a real dragon," Fizzo sighed. "When I get mad, I just make a mess of soap and air." "Perhaps your gift is different from mine," Blaze said, his voice like the low hum of a furnace. "Fire has its uses, but it can also destroy. Why don't you go play with Pip?" Fizzo nodded and wandered down to the crystal meadows, where his friend Pip, a small and energetic creature, was busy stacking glowing sunstones into a tall, shaky tower. Just as Pip was about to place the final stone, his long, tufted tail swished by accident. Clatter! The tower tumbled down, and one of the heavy stones landed right on Fizzo's toe. The grumble-rumble returned faster than ever. Fizzo's face turned bright red, and his scales prickled with heat. He turned to Pip, ready to let out a roar of pure frustration. Fizzo let out a massive huff. Expecting fire, Pip ducked for cover, but instead of heat, the air was suddenly filled with thousands of giant, bouncy bubbles. They swirled around Pip, reflecting the colors of the meadow like tiny rainbows. The bubbles were so bright and numerous that they blocked out the view of the fallen tower and the angry scowl on Fizzo's face. Pip looked up and saw a bubble the size of a pumpkin drifting right toward his nose. He poked it with a finger, bop, and the bubble burst with a cheerful sound, spraying a mist of lavender-scented air. Pip started to giggle. He hopped onto a particularly large bubble and found that it held his weight, bouncing him up and down like a trampoline. Fizzo watched Pip laughing and felt the grumble-rumble in his chest simply vanish. It was impossible to stay angry when the air was full of floating fun. He realized that if he had breathed fire, Pip might have been hurt and the meadow would be scorched. Instead, they were both smiling. Fizzo took a deep breath, not an angry one this time, and blew a gentle stream of bubbles for Pip to chase. That evening, Fizzo told Blaze all about the meadow. "I used to think bubbles were a mistake," Fizzo said, "but they turned a fight into a game." Blaze smiled, proud of his son. "Fire can warm a house, but laughter can heal a heart. You have the most powerful breath of all." And from that day on, the bubble-blowing dragon was the favorite guest at every gathering.
Do you like it? If you like it, please like and subscribe.